Uh-huh. Who wants to be a Melvinaire? It's a manhood movement, constant elevation. Every day we improving. 7 p.m. on Wednesdays. I think you should tune in. It's more than a podcast. It's a family reunion. Melvinaires. My nigga Mel up in here. You know Rome, he the plug. No telling who might appear. Could be one of your favorite rappers, community activists, businessmen and women, to the shooters and savages. Melvinaires. Yeah, we Melvinaires. Yeah, we Melvinaires. Yeah.
Yo. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. It's the Almighty Melvinaire Podcast, man. We back in the building. Indeed. We back. I'm your host, none other, Rome the Plug. I got my team in the building. We missing DJ Bruce Wayne today. Of course, he'll be back next week, man. But of course, we got a special guest in the building. We got the team here, Self-Care Snob in the building. Cass is here. We got the bro.
Hello.
We got the bro Billy Ray Valentine in the building. One time.
What's up? Brickyard, Philadelphia.
Already. Shout out Philly. And our special guest is Queen Sunshine Monie, live and direct on the Melvinaire Podcast. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Peace, y'all.
Peace. So, I'll try to get creative with the names. It may not even make sense. It sounded good when I thought of it. You know what I mean? But so, work in the shadows. We refer in the shadow work. So and numerology. I want you to I think my first question for our guest would be misconceptions of numerology.
Misconceptions about numerology, I would think more so like the way numbers have been taught to us, in mathematics, them being like, linear, and that whole like greater than, lesson that we receive, with amount. And when you're speaking about numbers are also sound. When you get into the Kabbalah, you get into like, more of the gematria part of it, where you start incorporating the letter sounds and stuff to the numbers. But it's vibrations first. So it's not really a matter of like more or less, greater than, less than. It's more so of like the vibration that number gives off.
Mm. Okay. Oh, that was a deep ass first rebut. Like, I was like, oh man. So I had someone do a read on me. One of my ex girlfriend had got one done for me. I think it was for my life number, or this is my life. So like I had a reading done on that, but like I only read like the first 3 pages, like, and I ain't, and then I ended up deleting it like after we broke up for real. So I gotta get another one. I gotta get another one done. I'm gonna have to get a consultation.
Yeah, please reach out. I do numerology readings. That was your life path number. So
my life path number, right?
So your name, like you pick your name and your birthday. You kind of like, there's a theory that before you came here on this plane, you were like, hey, I want to go to Earth or whatever. And you kind of like started manifesting your desire to come into the physical realm and da-da-da. And the universe kind of like aligned and did the rest. It made certain experiences and things occur so that you can, be conceived.
Mm.
Your life path number is essentially like, the contract. In other words, it's like your Akashic record or your soul contract. It's like, what are you supposed to be doing here? What is your path? What is your journey? And so a lot of the other things, like, I've been doing numerology for a little while, but I'm more so versed in astrology and astronomy. That's my expertise. I've been doing that for like a good 13 years now. But like that part of yourself, aligns for you to and it gives you characteristics. So you'll find that with your name and your birthday, there's a lot more numbers than just your life path number. And those other numbers give you like the challenges and experiences and the traits and stuff that you need to continue on your life path number. And it really helps with how you like perceive experiences, especially those that like we've been, taught like this is supposed to be depressing and this is supposed to be sad. And, it helps like with your perception, how you like receive those experiences.
That's pretty dope. All right. Cass, you got any
What?
questions? Yeah, bro.
No, I'd love for everybody. Well, I said no. I'm so sorry. Yes, I do. Welcome to the show. My bad.
Thank you.
um, I don't know. Do Rome and Ron? Do you guys know your life path numbers?
I do know my life path number.
You do.
It's
Okay.
three.
Mine's just
I'm a life. You
I'm
guys
mine's
both
a
know.
three too.
I'm a
You
three.
guys are three.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm a
cool.
one.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
cool. I'm an
Yeah.
11.
Okay.
Oh
Wow.
Can you
wow.
tell us about an 11? I don't see. I don't know what everybody else's is. I only know what mine means. Can you
Okay,
maybe go over like the different
so
ones for
three.
us?
Yeah, yeah. So, I can simplify the numbers for you. So when you come into one is learning how to be independent, how to walk in your power, work on your leadership, type of energy, and that's like what you give yourself and what you give others. And a lot of the different challenges and experiences that you have in life are going to push you towards like that leadership, type of role. And then as far as threes goes, three is a number of creativity. It's also a very emotional number, but it's the number of creation, making things, bringing things into the physical. Uh, I can go back to number two. Number two is more so towards like one-on-one relationships, finding balance in those types of relationships. Also learning how to work with other people, how to like engage in different experiences with other people. um, Four is foundation. That's creation too, but it's more so for like creating like discipline or structure or being dependable. Like when you get into the gematria of the word dad, dad is 414. So, you think about what a dad does, what a dad brings into a space is like brings that stability and they're a leader and then it brings back to stability. So that kind of energy, like all these names out here have like a number to them. Five is a number of adventure and freedom and tapping into your sensual energy, anything that taps into your five senses, hearing things, tasting things, smelling things. You like the varieties of life. Six is creation too, but like it's creation in alignment with celestial beings. So now you've tapped into like I call it like the spiritual cloud, the thought cloud that you tap into and you receive all these downloads and these aha moments and stuff like that. Those are the sixes. Sevens is celestial government period. You've moved away from like that physical creation thing and now you're just in the space of celestial government. If you have sevens in your number, this is around the time where you want to like start studying intangible things, thoughts, beliefs, your dreams, your subconscious, going inward into self. This is around a space of like religious and spiritual studies. It's a space of solitude, that number seven. Eight is more so balance and justice, business and financial endeavors. Nine is completion, karmic bonds, learning how to bring things into a full circle, learning how to work with people in a level that creates completeness. Um, and then 10 brings you back to one. There's actually no number higher than nine. Now you get into master numbers when you start adding up numbers and they add to double digits. So you have 11, 22, and 33. Those are our master numbers. We don't reduce those down to smaller numbers for most of like the numerology problems we have. And while like 0 through 9 is more so about the student, like studious kind of energy. What am I absorbing? What am I experiencing? Me. But when you come into a master number like 11, 22, or 33, you come into a space of teaching. Now you are you're the master. You're the magistrate. You came to teach certain things, and a lot of the challenges that master numbers run into is the confidence required to be a teacher. The ability to accept adversity and the different energy that comes with being a teacher. You got people that want to debunk what you're teaching, or you have those people that just don't listen, or whatever. How you gonna act? How you gonna act? Um, but yeah, that's the way the master number of 11 is leadership teaching. The master number 22 is learning cooperative teaching, learning to teach other people. And then 33 is creation, teaching people how to create things. This is like the ultimate number because this is like really tapping into those celestial bodies to bring things into this physical realm as a 33. And also coming back to like numbers are not linear. So while I'm a master number 11, I always make jokes that my son is actually like my pop in another life, but he's actually a 22 master number. So his like his age and time and space is older than me, even though that's my child. And that's where you get a lot of that energy, where you come across certain kids and it's like, dang, like you've been here before, you
Mm-hmm.
older, you mad mature. And that's because energy doesn't really care about societal engineering. That societal energy engineering that tells you when a newborn comes into this realm, they don't know anything, and toddlers don't know anything, and kids don't have nerves to get on, and they don't have emotions, or they can't process things. That's not true. Energy doesn't really care about our social engineering as far as how we treat children, and different age developments and stuff like that. That's more for like physio motor skills than it is your spiritual self.
Is it like I'm gonna have to make a number up? Is it like an ain't shit number or something? Like I can just apply to somebody like
An ancient
like
number.
can I like you a 45? Like it's not master,
Yeah.
but like you know what I mean? Like I
Oh
just
yeah,
make a number
yeah. You
up.
can pull out numbers like that, like
Yeah.
combination numbers. Like
Yeah,
I
like
could,
girl,
say,
like hey girl, you a whole 38. You need to get your life together. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
like,
yeah. You could definitely do that.
yeah, I'm on to something. I'm on to something.
Like you need a 38. You need to create some balance in your life,
Yeah.
and then we got negative numbers, maybe you could put them at a negative
Yeah,
space.
there you go. Yeah, we on to something. We on to something. Um, what what led you down this path? Like what was it for you? Like was this something that, like you always had interest in, or was this something that like did you see something? Did you read something? Like what sparked that thought in your mind to be like I got to get into this?
Numerology specifically was not an interest of mine at all. When I was a kid, I always wanted to have like superpowers and learn how to play with herbs and all that stuff like that. And one of my grandmothers, she kind of like entertained that part of me, learning how to heal certain things from home, from outside, and stuff like that. So, fast forward, like, I had a period of time of suppression, when you were in like middle, high school, college era, that shit not cool. So you don't do that shit no more.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2008, my son had got real sick in 2010, and I wasn't really feeling the stuff that the doctors were saying. I wasn't feeling like how they was like treating me, how they was treating him. They was trying to use him as an experiment or whatever. He had a reaction to a vaccination, and that kind of like led me down the rabbit hole of
Mm-hmm.
like herbal studies. I became certified in herbal studies, and then I was going to school for psychology at the time, and I always wanted to be a therapist and just like sitting in them classrooms and listening to like how they conduct medicine in the psychiatric field, and then working in that field and stuff like that. I'm like, bruh, y'all not really doing it right. There's like a whole like group of people y'all missing over because y'all so quick to diagnose them with the DSM to give them meds.
Mm-hmm.
And these people, they're not mentally ill. They have a different spirituality, but there's nobody here adhering to their spirituality. It's either Christianity, Muslim, Buddha, Hindu, but like, native indigenous spirituality, is not too many therapists out here, really giving behavioral structures to those individuals. So I was like, I volunteer as tribute. I'll do that shit. I
Right.
find astronomy and astrology very fascinating. Numbers is something that came to me while I was studying astrology and astronomy, and I started getting into like tarot cards and stuff like that. Then I ran across like Betu Netter, in the process of me trying to, detox my son. We had this whole familial experience going raw vegan and then learning how to live alongside of nature and shit like
Mm-hmm.
that. So, Metu Netter was really what opened my eyes up to numerology, because you get into the 10 spheres of life and all that
Right.
stuff. And then I started getting into the Kabbalah and stuff. So it really was just like a spiral of information, a spiral of interest. I love to learn. So like,
Yeah.
it was just like, well, if I could do that, then I could do this. And that's really all it was. It's just like my interest in learning. And it's just like sparked from that one incident with my child. And he's fine now. Like, we went through the whole detox process with Dr. CB and shit. The last time he got his blood work done, he was 2 at the time. He had got real sick. His blood had got infected by the vaccination, and
Wow.
he's 16 now. So we good over
Right.
here. I think my stars that I didn't have that mindset to let the doctors do what they wanted to do, because they was talking weird.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. So,
You got
so
anything,
I got
Mona?
some. Yeah. So we speaking about shadow work. When people talk about shadow work, can you explain like exactly what does that encompass and all the different areas like that you can describe it in, like describe like all the different ways you're doing it pretty much.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different ways you could tap into, your shadow work.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, on my personal journey, like I said, I went to school for psychology, so I would do the exercises on myself, like the different motivational therapy exercises and stuff like that. I would just do that to myself, because like I didn't grow up in love. I grew up in survival. I had some childhood traumas that I had to heal and get through and stuff like that. So I would do that to myself or whatever. And then, so that's one thing you can do. You can either, I say motivational therapy sessions. Art therapy is a big one. I express myself through paintings, and I make jewelry. And that's, especially for y'all too, y'all life path 3s. So, that's a really good way for y'all to express y'all, repressed emotions, is creating things. Um,
That's where this came from.
see,
Mm-hmm.
it's an outlet. And also having those conversations. Like, I spiral. Talking to yourself is not a bad thing. I do
Mm-hmm.
like that science behind cursive writing. Is a reason why you write in cursive, because cursive used to be a meditative way of writing, and it's like free writing. And you can
Hmm.
do that,
Yeah.
just write out your issues, write out your things, your problems. And then coming back, once I read, again, coming back to Melvinaire, for those of you guys, anybody who follow me will eventually realize, like, a lot of my stuff is based on those books. Like, I live by those books. But coming back to Melvinaire, it's like, the 10 phases of, healing or whatever. You kind of go through your imagination of an emotion. So, like, something happens in your life and it triggers an emotion out of you, and you got to ask yourself, like, why am I triggered? What led up to this trigger? When was the first scenario like this, and why did it trigger me the first time? And then have that imagination to that you're like defeating this energy, or defeating this experience. They usually put like an animal head on the experience, or humanize the experience, to show yourself like actually killing it, because we love to personify things. But you do all of that, and that really puts you in a place of, like, conquering the shadow work. So you could do it that way, like that therapeutic, straightforward way. You have some people that will go to other people, like on retreats and sabbaticals and stuff, and get like that Reiki energetic healing, because we are vibrations before we are physical beings. Like, our physical stuff is really just condensed vibration. When you break down, what we're physically made out of, it's more frequencies, more vibrations. Um, and you have these healers that can, like, speak and breathe into you and have you expel your emotions in that way. Some people do hypnosis. I know psychologists that specialize in hypnosis, and they help people, again, and they don't even realize this, because they're not spiritually centered psychologists. And sometimes I'll be wanting to have this dialogue with them, but I can't. But they're actually engaging into the 10 spheres of Neteru when they do the hypnosis, as far as telling people to go back to the first time they felt it and humanize it, and whatever, whatever. A lot of these Western medicine practices is really like their watered down version of Aboriginal culture, the things we've been doing since we were in villages, for one another, when we dealt with trauma and stuff. Um, Baths, people take certain kind of baths with herbs, to expel, certain energies and stuff they've been holding on to. It's really all about your imagination. Your mind is so powerful. So, like, if your mind is telling yourself, okay, this is healing this and this is releasing this, then that's what it's going to do. Those moments you have certain doubts in your head while you're doing it, that's what makes it not work. I think I answered the question. I hope
Yeah.
I did.
So like
I think
step.
I think
Nah, go ahead, bro.
I think was it Cass saying something about that? Or I think earlier this week she was saying something about how different how different things that you might eat or whatever
Mm-hmm.
might cause you a certain react a certain kind of way or
Yeah.
something along
Yeah,
those lines.
definitely. I was talking about like how what you eat affects how you feel and your perspective on things because everything that we eat causes a chemical reaction in our bodies. So it directly affects our brain, our different organs, everything is connected, right? So yeah, that's what I was talking about. I think I touched briefly on it.
Mm,
Hmm. Your gut definitely controls your mind. That's why, you know. Oh, and in some countries they ban a lot of stuff that we're allowed to eat here.
Right.
hmm hmm
And you know, when you get into like when you dissect a lot of the foods here, a lot of it is milk on everything.
Yep.
And milk is
hmm
heavily, you know, polluted with a whole bunch of estrogen and a bunch of other hormones and stuff like that. And then you figure like everybody's full of hormones. That's like the biggest thing in the food and the beverages over here is hormones. So,
hmm
you know, you're watching television, you're watching marketing, and everything is emotional invocation. You know, a melanated person, we have the strongest emotions because, you know, that melanin is an electromagnetic conductor. So it enhances what we already feel. You know what I mean? So having
hmm
that emotional, always being on edge, like they always make sure right before the summertime, make sure y'all see somebody get shot by the cops, make sure y'all see
Mm-hmm.
somebody get choked out or whatever, and that puts you on an emotional heightened state, you know, around this
Psychological
time when
targeting,
you're
Mm-hmm.
exactly
everything.
when your kundalini is rising around this time of nature, like we're summer people. So, you know, at this time, like our ethers is getting bigger, our kundalini is rising, you ready to just go outside and stuff like that. And you get that instant emotional invocation with all them chemicals in your body. Because all winter long, what do they tell you to do? Eat. You
Mm-hmm.
eating for Thanksgiving, you drinking, you eating Christmas, you drinking, you eating, and that's actually the time you're supposed to be fasting. You're not even supposed to be eating like that
hmm
because you're a summer person. You're a solar being.
hmm
So where's the sun at? It's not over here. So you don't have it in your gut like that for you to be eating like that. You know,
hmm
but we're taught to do the opposite. So when the summer starts, you got all this estrogen and all these other hormones in your body, and they show you these images back to back, and that's how you're starting your summer as a solar being.
Can you talk about the differences we touched on numerology. Can you touch on like the differences um from astrology? Like
It's
like
not much
the
difference.
not really differences, comparisons on like how you interpret the information.
um it's really, yeah, like with the numbers it's more, I was gonna lie, I was gonna say it's more math, but it's not. um because like when you get into like astronomy, like there's math in astronomy when you learn how to do it by hand. See, I'm one of the people where I want to learn the primitive way because I want to know how these websites are getting the answers they're getting, and I want to know how this is being calculated, and that's just how my brain works. I gotta know the foundation
hmm
before I move forward. I'm a Virgo stellium. I got a lot of placements in Virgo. That's just how I move. But yeah, like when you get, okay, so 1 degree in the sky is 69 miles radius down here. So you start to do the math of like, well, I'm down here and this is at this degree in the sky. So now I can see where that relation is to where I am at down here. And also there's this thing where you can get into astrocartography where you could be like, well, if this planet was over here when I was born in relation to where I'm at, then if I move over to this area, I would have an experience that's more towards this planet where I would have it. Like I live in Jersey. The only planet that was in midheaven when I was born, unfortunately, was Pluto. So I deal with a lot of extreme energy over here. But this is also a heavy like challenge to my solar plexus chakra. And I say they go hand in hand because I'm an 11 life path number, and my path here is to be a teacher. You know, learn how to stand on my own 2 feet with the teaching or whatever. And so, like, being born into a space that, like, the only energy I got over here is my solar plexus chakra, it really always gives me no choice. Like, every circle I walk into, oh, she's the mom of the friend group,
Mm-hmm.
even in my familial circle, like, oh, she's like the second mom, I've been a mother to, a mother like figure to my siblings. I got my own kid. Like, I've just always been the mom. I've always been, that person. And that's just giving you an example. But they really complement each other. It's not so much as one being more accurate than the other. It's more so complementary, because numbers, they go towards like the phases of your life more than anything. They kind of compartmentalize you. They put you, like, it puts a bunch of boxes over you and your life and the stages and phases of your lives. And what the planets do is they kind of just, they're like fillers. They fill it in. Like, okay, this part of your life is from this age to this age, and then astrology will come in and be like, well, you're going to experience like this with this person because this and this here and da 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 da. It's like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they really like complement each other. And then when you get into gematria, which is essentially just turning the letters into numbers,
Mm-hmm.
like, you'll start to see like even more like lineups of how that's set up too. Like, oh, this is really like one and the same. And it also makes you look at etymology a little bit different. If you guys are into words and spellings and cursives of words and
Mm-hmm.
breaking words
Dark
down.
history. That's some
Yeah.
dark history.
Yeah, really does. A lot
Yeah.
of dark history. And when you get into the numbers of a lot of the words that we use, it'll make you a lot more careful about the words that we choose, for real, for real. We really be saying some nut
Mm.
stuff.
Yeah.
I can imagine. I can
All right.
imagine.
Back on astrology. I do have a personal question. Why do
Mhm.
Sagittarius get such bad raps, man? Like I'm
Y'all
a
suck.
fire sign. Yo, we do not
Oh,
suck. We are the
man.
shit.
You guys
No,
suck.
we are the shit. Like you know what I'm
Y'all are
Listen to
saying?
me. I have
interesting.
never gotten along with the Sagittarius in my life.
Never.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I have a
Never.
couple of Sagittarians in my
Something
life,
always
and I be
happens.
holding on to them. So,
Thank you.
because
See,
I see what y'all be trying to do. I see
see.
how y'all want to come off. It's just not. It just doesn't come out that way. I've had it was funny because, like, I have a couple people in my life that used to like trigger me, and I'd be like, "Yo, why are they getting on my nerves so much?" And then somebody be like, "Oh, they a Sagittarius," and I'd be like, oh."
It's not a lie. It's not an
Not a
exaggeration.
lie.
Oh man.
It's
It's
real
just
shit.
something about y'all. Y'all got a little extra pizzazz on y'all that, like, y'all very proud of, and that's dope. It's just very it's a challenge
Perturbing.
to people around you. Definitely. Um yeah. It's like that desire to be free. That
Yeah,
that
that's a fact.
that all
That's
over
a
the
fact.
place, but willing to sacrifice like stuff. Like, it don't match. Like, I have a couple people. It's like, it doesn't make sense the stuff you're willing to sacrifice just to show and prove
Right.
that you're correct or that you're free. Like, that makes no sense to
Man.
me.
Yeah, that's
But
me.
that's just me.
That's me.
That's just
That's me. That's
me.
me. That's me. That's
um,
definitely me.
what you
He was
got?
like, yo, you wildin'. Like, why? Like, it's the principle. Like, you know,
Yeah,
like,
it's always the
yeah, it's the
principle. Like,
principle, right?
That's very important.
Yep. It's the principle.
Petty. Petty sages.
yes.
That's not petty, man. Like,
Now, I'm
yo,
not saying every single thing you all do is petty, but I'm saying sages are notoriously petty.
Yes.
I have a petty side to me, yes. But that's only after you violate. Like, you violate, I be hella chill, and then it's the one time somebody violate, and then it's all fair. You know what I mean? It's all fair play. You know what I mean? If someone bring me a move and don't choose to operate how I choose to react, that's on them. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's on them. I can't help that. If I'm petty, then I'm petty for that. You know what I mean? But you gonna think twice before you come at me again. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, you
It's
know,
just, it's a
that's all it
certain
is.
level of energy awareness with the fire signs.
Yeah.
Like, people are very aware of y'all energy. Y'all just gotta learn how to be aware of other people's energy. It's something about a fire. It's like, I'm in the room, so y'all get
Yeah.
hot with me, or I don't give a fuck what you do.
Get hot with me.
Yup. Yup. Literally. Literally that.
Yeah, I can't help. Like, I told my coworker, like, I don't gotta practice being me. You know what I mean? So I don't know how to do anything outside of that, man. So, you know, like, that's just what it is. You know, like,
Respect.
Yeah, that's just what it is. But I respect everybody else, man. Like, I don't be randomly picking with people. I'm on my business, and then I'm only a fire sign when it's time to be. I be wild chill.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's funny as
Can you
hell
tell
though. No, go ahead, bro.
our sis Cass' birthday is Sunday? Can you tell us about our sis?
I'm a
This
Pisces.
Sunday?
Yes,
Oh,
this
Her
happy
Sunday.
birthday
early return, goddess.
her birthday's Sunday.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
I like Pisceans. I like Pisceans. That's the fifth, ain't it?
Yes. The
Hmm.
fish. Hmm.
What you doing? You got the Leo moon energy on your birthday this year. Um, yeah, the moon is going to be in Leo zodiac and constellation on your day, and Venus entering the ninth house on your day as well. But your birthday is on the fifth. Five is the number of freedom. Five is the number of adventure and wanting to go above and beyond. It is kind of like that Sagittarian energy, that number five. But five is more so related to like Gemini energy. So it's more so directed towards like communication and like your freedom in your like community relationships and endeavors and your influence on your environment and stuff like that, and having adventures and innovative approaches to things, just like variety of life period. As far as the Piscean fish go, because you're born on a five, I don't really see you being the manipulated fish unless you allow
I'm
yourself
not.
to be. Okay. Yeah. Because
I'm
the
a very
fishes go one of
straightforward
the two
person.
ways. Okay. Yeah, so the fish can go one or two ways. You can either be the manipulator or you could be manipulated. Now, if you find a balance,
I've been
you just
hella
learn how to
manipulated.
you learn how to use that superpower. Being a manipulator is not a bad thing at all, because you can walk in a room and be like, "All right, y'all fitting to behave better than this," and you can make it happen
Hmm.
that way. I think we
Manipulate. Yeah.
utilize,
Okay.
yeah, we gotten
So like
kind of like,
influential
yeah, influential.
okay.
I just use the word manipulate because we're talking about water here and
And
fishes
energy
and
and
moving the currents and stuff like that. But again, that's like
Mm-hmm.
another emotional invocation. We've been indoctrinated when we hear a word like that. Um,
Hmm.
true.
but yeah, that's the energy for you. You're more so like the one that sets the tone in the room and stuff like that, than being the one that gets the tone set for you.
Most
I happen to
Sounds
definitely.
be a
about right.
Gemini. I
You're a
happen to be a
Gemini. I
Gemini,
love Gemini.
and I have a twin. So what? Speak on that a little bit.
I love Geminis. That's cool that you have a twin. I have sisters that are Pisces and they're twins. I think that's so dope because they're literally the polar opposite. Like one of them is the manipulator and one of them is the one that's always getting manipulated. It is so cute. Well, it's not that cute because they like 14 now, but it's funny. But Gemini twins, oh, that's cool. I've never been around Gemini twins before, but I know Geminis just like to have someone else with them. Like it's not really too much of a I want to do this by myself kind of energy going on. Um, Geminis is all about having multiple personalities at once, being in multiple places at once, all that different stuff. It's just learning how not to burn yourself out. That's really like the main like lesson of the Gemini. Like, yeah, you could be everywhere. Um, you know, it's that desire to want to learn a little bit of everything instead of a lot of one thing. And you could do both, but you definitely want to have an expertise. You don't want to like spread yourself so thin and trying to do everything and be everywhere. This is a
Mm-hmm.
it's a bit of a marathon. You're not really sprinting here, so you can study something for a certain amount of time and then go to something else or whatever, whatever. But you don't have to grow like extra arms to try to like do a bunch of stuff at one time. Yeah, you can go for me. Um, okay. But yeah, just having those different studies, community, communication, but always having someone around you. And I would be careful around fire signs. That air and fire is wild, and be mindful of your own fire signs too, because you can have a tendency to like heat your own stuff up. You think about how the elements move. What does air
Mm-hmm.
do to fire, and what does air do to water, and what does air do to
Yeah.
earth. and that gives you a good
Mm.
idea on how to treat yourself and how to treat certain energies around you too. And I try to get into more, like when I do my astrology readings, I try to get into more than just your sun sign, because your sun is just your ego, it's your experiences and stuff. So it's only, righteous that over here in America we only focus on your ego, and we only
Mm.
walk around, calling out our
Wow.
ego and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a lot of other planets too, and they have their own places as well.
We got someone in the chat asking about Scorpios.
Are
I
they
love
freaky?
Scorpios.
I got in
That's
I
trouble.
love
my high school.
Scorpios.
I got in
My,
trouble
my
with
high school.
Scorpios.
My high school love was Scorpio.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You say you don't like Scorpios?
I think my baby mother is Scorpio. I don't like Scorpio. Now I think about it, I don't like Scorpios. Now,
I was just because you a fire
now that I
sign. I
think
couldn't
about
manage
it,
you around too much
yeah.
water. That's
Then I think about I don't like Scorpios. My baby mother is Scorpio. Yeah.
that's hilarious. But yeah, Scorpios is that energy of transformation. They're like very they stand on a power with stuff, but they're very petty. Like you gotta think about how a scorpion moves. Like a scorpion is always on edge. It's always ready to attack. It's always like
Mm.
wishing somebody would, with the claws first and
Mm.
the little poisonous joint on go. So, and it's protecting itself because underneath that hard shell is like all this like soft gooey shit in the inside. So they feel like they have to move like that. So when you study like the animal they're saying it represents, that's really the energy of that person. I'm around a lot of Scorpios, like my sister, my niece.
It's
I had a
October
period of time.
10/29 Scorpio.
Oh,
28, my
my
bad.
niece is a 1031. Okay, so yeah. Oh, they're a little different. Like my niece, she be saying some wild shit. They really be in tune with the spiritual realm. That like 1028 to like November 1st. That's a very special time. That's around Halloween. That's when the veil is at its thinnest, or whatever. And just different spirits being born. It's the same code.
That's big.
What
It's
about
like spirit. Huh?
sorry, go ahead.
I'm about to send it to you. But the
Yo,
spirits being born around that time and they're coming through like the womb and stuff like that, it's during that time where everything is like the veil is very thin. So it's like them kids be having the like their level of spiritual understanding is wild. Like my niece, she always doing some weird shit. Like she's like she like Wednesday from Adam's Family with it though. So it's not like, oh, that's cute. It'd be like, bro, go sit down. We about to go grab the sage. I don't know what the f she just did to your forehead. But yeah, that's a very like spiritual time. That's cool.
that's dope. Yo, we got like 8 minutes left because we kicked off late messing with this new program. But I definitely want to bring you back. I'm going to get a consultation and bring you back because I want to talk about it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
I definitely want to do that. I think that'd be interesting. So for to say the least,
All
to say the
right.
least, that'd be interesting. So I want everybody to get their handles out before we close out. This was a dope build. I want to give a big shout out to Sunshine Monie for coming through and kicking it with us. This was a beautiful experience and eye opening. I feel obligated to go learn some shit now. So
Mm.
yeah, absolutely. So I think this was dope. I'm gonna set it off. Can't knock the muscle _43 on IG. At the _Melvinaire Podcast on IG. Jerome D Rose on Facebook. The _Melvinaire on Twitter, and Melvinaire Podcast on TikTok.
All right. It's Billy Ray Valentine on Facebook, Billy Ray Valentine _B1 on Instagram, and dprogram78 on Twitter.
The Self Care Snob on Instagram, Self Care Snob on TikTok, and Selena Jellizo on Facebook.
All right, go ahead.
It's my turn.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Oh, I'm Sunshine Monet L. You can find me everywhere. Less Nobodies. I'm on Instagram. Less Nobodies Business LLC. You can find me on Facebook. Sunshine Monet L. That's MONIE. And then if you Google me, my business page will pop up. Less Nobody's Business. But I do the astrology readings and numerology readings. Feel free to reach out.
Yeah, my numerology report gonna be messed up because I've been saying her name wrong the whole time. It's been like,
It's okay. I've had worse. My dad gave me that name, and it's been a journey.
Nah, no doubt. My apologies. But yeah,
It's all right.
go ahead, bro.
I definitely recommend her services, man. It was a great experience.
Nah, that's dope. That's peace, man. And when it's all said and done, ladies, do not be a 38, man. Yo, fuck with me, man. Yo. Do not be a 38. Yo, can't knock the most on the score 4-3, man. This is the Melvinaire Podcast, man. Peace and love. We catch y'all next week, man. Oh my God, before we go, Master Elements in the building next week, man. Big shout out DJ RP Beats, the God, sincere love the God, man. We got Master Elements tapping down, man. Tune in for that, man. That's gonna be a good one, bro. I promise you, man. Like, we see y'all next week, man. It's the Melvinaire Podcast. Salute.
Absolutely. Salute.